right, so we can hand out the forms there at the back. So just like a good internet marketing seminar, I'm going right to selling you guys something. So get your credit cards out. We're going to go right to it. No, I'm just kidding. What we have is a form. We're going to go through a little exercise that's going to make you 10 times more effective. It's going to help you make your employees 10 times more effective. So you also have a copy of my book, Perfect Day Formula, and these worksheets that we're going to go through are extensions of that. So it's not stuff that's in the book, it's actually new stuff that I want to help you guys go through. And again, it works for you and it works for your employees and your team members as well. But a little bit about myself. So 20 years ago, I started an online fitness business. I started being Canada's version of Tony Horton, and it worked out pretty well. In fact, it worked out so well that 10 years later, I ended up in the hospital with thinking I was having a heart attack. Yeah, it was really fantastic. And so it was because of something that I call paradox of freedom. Paradox of freedom is when you're an entrepreneur, you can work all the time. When you don't have a 9 to 5, you can turn it into a 5 to 9. And I did that and more because then I was partying all the time. And so, I was 30 years old and doing that, and I really got myself into trouble. And you see this all the time today with rock stars, with movie stars, with rich kids of Instagram. Mike Tyson is a really famous example. That guy didn't have anybody to tell him no. He was surrounded by yes men, and he blew through a fortune of $300 million because no one said, Mike, don't buy the tiger. You don't need the tiger. But he bought the tiger, right? And he bought a whole bunch of other stuff. And so for me, that paradox of freedom was a combination of working too much, chasing girls too late at night in Toronto, and I woke up one morning in March of 2006. Sunny, beautiful morning, the type of day that you wait all winter long for in Toronto, where actually the sun comes out and you can not have to wear a parka. And I woke up with this sense of impending doom. I don't know what, I couldn't describe the feeling, but it got worse as the day went on. And eventually, I turned into 6 weeks straight, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, where I felt like I was having a heart attack. Literally. Tingles from the top of my head down to the end of my fingertips, tight chest, couldn't breathe, elevated heart rate. And I actually went to the emergency room twice, walked to the front of the line, said, I think I'm having a heart attack. And so the next time you go to an emergency room, you got like a sprained ankle and it's busy, just go right up to the front, say, I think I'm having a heart attack. They'll take you right to the back. And they'll bring a nurse over, and she'll, hold your hand, she'll pet your stomach. This all happened to me. And so it was wonderful in a way, but and that did help get rid of the anxiety. But for those 6 weeks, I was doing everything I possibly could. I tried meditation, I tried yoga, I tried this stuff called Qigong, and I hated all of it. But I was doing everything because it was so painful to go through. In fact, I even went and bought a dog. So because I read this, if you pet a dog, you get rid of your anxiety. And so I went and I bought this chocolate lab, and I brought him back from the country into the city. The first day, Saturday, got the dog. Okay, we're going to go for a walk. Doesn't want to walk. No dice. He does not walk. Okay, so I'm trying to drag this dog around the block. It doesn't look very good. And so, okay, next day, he's a Labrador retriever. Let's go play fetch. Keyword retriever, right? Doesn't want to play fetch. Third day, I have to go and do meetings. I leave him in the apartment, tiny little condo in Toronto. I come back, there's notes on the door. Your dog's barking all the time. We're going to call security because he had the separation anxiety. So I realized I bought the dog version of me. So that made it worse, but because I tried all of those things, I put in place systems because I had too much freedom. So I put more structure into place because structure gives you true freedom. And I know it's a paradox. It doesn't sound right. But structure does give you true freedom in life. And so what I did was from those systems that I built over the last 10 years as I went and wrote a book that I gave you guys a copy of. And that, Matt's going to talk about, product reiteration and how one product becomes another and gets better over time. And so from that, we went and created this thing called Perfect Day Formula Kit. So who here has one of the fancy orange boxes? Yes, I've given them to quite a few people. So this is something that we sell on a higher level. And then this has evolved from it. I do now 8-hour workshops called Perfect Life Workshops with clients, a very intense deep dive into self-discovery. And so that just shows you that this type of stuff can evolve. And so over the years, that's what helped me to become more productive and to get a lot done. And so before we go into the worksheets, what I want to show you is the number one cause of human friction, personal friction in people's lives in first world. So this is total first world problems, but this is how it goes. We hang around other successful people and we see, this is an eye, we see, I'm a terrible artist, but we see what they're doing, right? And we start comparing ourselves to others. And so we get this black, envious heart. And the black, envious heart makes us think, oh, the grass is greener on the other side. The grass is greener on the other side. And so what does that do? Then we go and chase shiny objects. That's a shiny object, which looks like an eye, but it's a shiny object. We chase the shiny objects. And now we're totally getting off track with our lives. And we're becoming incongruent. And so when people get really screwed up, it's when they have their actions and their goals are not aligned. And a lot of people will say, I want X. This is what I want. They go around, they say this on social media, they say this at New Year's, they say, I want X, I want a $10 million business, I want to become a great copywriter, I want to lose 20 pounds, I want to do this, that, and the other thing. And then you take a look at somebody with outside eyes and you see what they're doing. They want X, but they do Y. You got kids, you see this all the time, right? They say they want to get into college. They say they want to do this. What do they do with their time, right? They're wasting their time on social media. They're always on their phones. But it's the same with us. It's the same with us. And so we have this mismatch in alignment between our goals and our actions. People that are really successful are the type of people who have done the introspection and they've managed to align their goals and actions. And that's what the key is. And the way to solve that problem is with outside eyes. With outside eyes on your activities. That's how you make sure that your goals and your actions are aligned so that you become more productive. And this is very easy. If you have a team, if you have employees, you can see them all day long with your outside eyes on them, and you know that they have to get work done. And they say to you, I'm so stressed, and I'm so busy, and then their actions are not lining up with their goals. You know, here's an example. The other day, we bought a new giant TV for our office. And as an entrepreneur, there's no way in heck I would ever try and set this thing up. And so at the start of the day, some of the team members are saying, I'm so busy, I've got all this stuff going on, I'm really stressed. 2 hours later, I see them trying to set up a TV. Goals and actions are not aligned, and that's why they get so stressed out. And that's why all of us get so stressed out. Doesn't matter if you're trying to lose weight, you say you want to lose 20 pounds, but you're drinking a Frappuccino and eating a muffin, it's not going to work. Goals and actions are not aligned. So the solution is outside eyes. And the outside eyes that you're going to put on yourself today are in these 3 handouts that we have right now. So we're going to start with the middle page because that's where you start, right? The middle page. So I have them out of order. We're going to start with the time journal. Time journal is so important. If you've ever had any experience losing weight, you've probably heard you should keep a nutrition journal. And it's a great idea because it shows you what you're honestly doing. Now, time journal is going to work like this. You are going to fill this out for 3 days. You're going to fill out 2 weekdays and a weekend. And what you're going to do is every 20 minutes over the course of the day, you're going to write down what you're doing and how you're feeling. Here's what it's going to identify for you. 2 things. 2 things. The first are your OCD loops, your obsessive-compulsive loops. Here was mine 5 years ago. ESPN.com, sales stats, my email, Facebook, right back to the top, right? That's what we do. You got yours, I got mine, everybody's got them. OCD loops, the things that you are doing all the time that totally waste your days. Now you're also going to write down, when you identify those things, the triggers. There's going to be 2 triggers. There's going to be one trigger that makes you do it, and then there's going to be one thing that triggers you to get out of it. And then you have to build yourself a little Trumpian wall that protects you from the trigger that makes you do the thing. So for example, for me, my OCD loop, again, it started at ESPN.com. So it's about 9 in the morning, and for some reason, 9 in the morning, I start thinking I'm going to go and read the news. It just happened to be the way every single day. So I start going through stats and ESPN in my email. The only thing that would get me out of it was if I could find my way to open up a Word document, because I'm a writer, and so if I could just open up a Word document, that would be the trigger that would end my loop. So whatever it is, you're going to go through this, and you're going to figure out, am I tired at 10 o'clock in the morning, and that's why I'm going and checking social media? You know, am I bored? Am I angry? What am I doing at this time that leads me down the rabbit hole to self-destruction? And then you're going to identify the things that help you overcome that. So that's the first thing. That's a negative thing you're going to find from your time journal. The second thing you're going to find is magic time, the time of day when you are 3 times more productive, creative, and energetic than any other time of day. And this is your secret to success. Once you find your magic time, you are going to ruthlessly protect that, like my dog protects his dinner bowl. He is just not letting anybody near that thing. And so you need to do that with your time. Whether it's a 90-minute block, whether it's a 3-hour block, you do not take phone calls, you do not check email, you do not do anything else, you do not pass go, you do not collect $200, you just focus on what you should be doing in that time, that magic time. It is so important for you. If you did nothing but work in that hour and a half or those 2 hours, and you didn't work for the rest of the day, you would probably get a full day's work done. That time is so important for you. Everybody's got it. I got one friend who his magic time is from 10 p.m. till 2 a.m. I don't try and fight it. I don't try and tell him to get up earlier. We just make sure that he protects that. For me, it's really early in the morning. For you, it might be 9 o'clock in the morning. It might be 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But find it and take care of it. All right, the second page we're going to go to now is your first page. You're going to go to your not to-do list. Your not to-do list. So on the not to-do list, you have about 7 things on the left-hand side that everybody should not do. Hit the snooze alarm. Gossip. All that stuff that is a complete waste of your life. Do not do those things. But more importantly, we all have that one vice, that one really debilitating vice that really ruins your life. It could be the 4 glasses of wine that you've kind of slipped into every night. It could be email. It could be something worse. It could be online pornography. Let's be honest. Let's look at the elephant in the room. There's going to be somebody who's wasting too much time on that stuff. And so what you need to do now is, again, build the fence around you. Identify the stuff that triggers you into that temptation. And then identify ways to protect yourself. So for me, it was email. It was like, email was crushing me. I was doing this stupid thing of waking up 7:30, back in 2007 when I had the anxiety, 2006. I'd wake up at 7:30 in the morning, which was way too late for me, and I'd already be anxious. And then first thing I'd do, which everybody knows not to do, but so many people in here probably still do it, is I'd roll over and I'd check the email on the phone. It's the worst thing to do. And so what did I do? Well, okay, all right, I'm going to go and tell people that I'm not checking my email until later in the day. So I got public accountability. And then I made sure that I got rid of all email on my phone. In fact, I forgot to bring my phone up here, but I have a 2010 BlackBerry. It is 6.5 years old. You have a better chance of getting on the internet with a book than you do with my phone. And so I do everything possible. I go to extreme levels. I do not have the internet at my house because I am the weakest person in this room. And the reason why I've put all this stuff together is to protect me from crap that holds me back. And so whatever it is that's holding you back, identify the things that trigger you into it and then ways to get yourself out of it. That is just the solution to taking care of so much stress. So you're going to go through, you're going to identify your not to do, your big not to do, and make sure that you start to find ways to overcome it. Now the third thing that you're going to do is the last page. Now you're going to build your perfect workday from that. You know your magic time. You know what not to do. You know what needs to get done. You know what time you have the most energy. So you're going to write in when I get up, what I do first thing in the morning. All of that stuff, just dial in your perfect day. Dial that perfect day in, and you're going to become 10 times more productive. And when you have this in place, when you've done this for yourself, the next thing that I want you to do is get a copy of this for everybody on your team, sit down with them, and have this same discussion. Could be one-on-one, could be in a small group format. Have the difficult conversations. If you are running a team, you have outside eyes on them. You know where their actions and their goals are misaligned. You're going to bring that up. You're going to show them how to be more effective and perform in your business so much better. So that when you make yourself better and you make them better, you're going to go on to make your business so much better. So you can download as many copies of this as you want from craigballantyne.com/free gift. Or you can just email, I think I have my email on the bottom of one of those pages, and we'll just send you a copy and just use it with as many people as you want. But it's these types of ways of looking in, doing introspection upon yourself, that's like putting the external eyes on you to help you become more productive and more effective. And so the reason that I started today was, well, there's two reasons. One, the other guys weren't ready. And two, is because we need to get you into this mindset of taking all of the information that you guys are going to get today. It's going to be one of those days where you get all these ideas and you got to narrow it down. You got to focus. You got to get laser focused. Because there's really two types of approaches that work, or that people can take. One works, which is a laser focused, and then one doesn't, which is shotgun scattered. And a shotgun scattered approach to life does not bring you the results that you want. So these tools will work for you. They've worked for me, and they'll work for your team. I guarantee it. All right? Thank you.